Week 7 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few centers I would look to trade or sell high this week. The first guy is Christian Wood of the Houston Rockets, and Christian Wood, he's been great this season. 23 points, 10.7 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.7 blocks, 1.8 threes a game, 68% from the foul line, and 55% from the field. So on the season, he's ranked number 19 is Wood, but the last few weeks now, he's the 8th ranked player over that time in fantasy basketball. 21 points a game, 10.8 rebounds, 1.3 steals, 1.5 blocks, 2 threes a game, 75% from the foul line, and a whopping 62% from the field. So Wood, he's been having a great season, and what a great signing it was for Houston. And Houston now, it looks like they got a type of franchise player they wanted here in Houston, who wanted to be there, obviously, with James Harden now gone, and you could build around Wood, Wall, and maybe Oladipo if he stays there. But anyway, Christian Wood, the last 3 games, it's been good for him, man. Portland on January 28th, he had 22 points, 12 rebounds, a block, and a steal. Then January 30th at New Orleans, 27 points, 9 rebounds, a steal, a block, 84% from the field. And then February 1st at OKC, 18 points, 11 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks, and a whopping 61% from the field. So Christian Wood, he's very efficient. He's playing well, but I don't know if these numbers are going to keep on happening here for Wood. I know this season he's had a lot of huge lines and a lot of big games, but right now his rank's number 8 over the last 2 week span, and he's a player I think I could sell off and get a lot for him, maybe a 2-for-1 deal, or him for a top-notch guy who was in the first or second round of most drafts this season. So if the right deal's out there, you go sell him high. If not, you hold on to him, and you get the benefits of owning Christian Wood in fantasy basketball with his huge ball games and his stat lines. The next player I look to sell and trade off is Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors. And Boucher, his value is definitely taking a dip now. And he's a player I said weeks ago to sell him off. And the last couple games, it's been a nightmare for Boucher. But on the season, 13 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.6 threes a game, 78% from the foul line, and 52% from the field with 2 blocks a game. But over the last few weeks, his numbers have really dropped down, and his minutes have played well has gone down. Boucher, 8 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 1 block a game, 80% from the foul line, and an awful 37% from the field. So on the season, he's ranked number 41, but over the last few weeks now, his ranking's 206 in that time. And owners, they're getting frustrated with him. He's been dropped in 3% of fantasy leagues now in the last few days. And January 29th versus Sacramento, 4 points, 3 rebounds. January 31st versus Orlando, 9 points, 4 boards. And then at Orlando, February 2nd, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 1 3. So Boucher, he's not playing big minutes anymore. In the last 4 games, he's played 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 18 minutes, 19 minutes. So the minutes are down. The production obviously follows, and the production's down. And he had big games early in the season where I thought he wouldn't sustain it, and right now that's come true with Boucher. So he's a player you should just sell off right now or attach him to someone else in a 2-for-1 deal, because I think we're going to see many more nights where he continues to struggle and not put up good stat lines. And if you were smart enough weeks ago to sell him high at your peak, good for you. But now if you're stuck with him and he's putting up waiver wire type numbers, it's going to be tough to trade him unless he's an add-on, like I said, with someone else in a deal. So if you could get rid of Boucher, go ahead and try to do it. The next center I will look to sell high and trades Lauri Markkanen, the Chicago Bulls. Markkanen, he came back with a vengeance the last few weeks now. In his last couple games, he's really gone off. January 30th versus Portland, 31 points, 6 rebounds, a block, 6 threes, 66% from the field. And then February 1st versus the New York Knicks, who he versus once again here tonight, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 6 threes. So Markkanen, he's shooting lights out. He's playing big minutes once again here, anywhere from 30 to 36 minutes a game for Chicago. And he looks like the Markkanen at 2 seasons ago, where he was taking the league by storm in his rookie year. But right now, I think he's playing over his head a little. And the Wendell Carter Jr. injury, I think it does help marketing here in the short term. Carter, he's going to be out another 3 to 5 weeks, I believe, with the quadriceps injury. So marketing, he's playing well, but he's definitely a sell high candidate. We saw him struggle early in the season where he had dud performances. Then he was out for a few weeks. Last season, he was banged up as well. So right now, a couple more games that he puts together big, you could definitely sell him off and get a good haul for him. So marketing, I would definitely look to sell high here this week. Center, I would look to sell high here is Cody Zeller of the Charlotte Hornets. Zeller, he was a player I recommended this week to go out there and pick up on waivers. And right now, he's really doing some big things here for the Hornets and fantasy owners. His ownage went up 22% so far this week. Is Zeller on the season? He's ranked 114, averaging 9.3 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 70% from the foul line, and 47% from the field. But in the last couple weeks now, his ranking's gone up even more to 58 in that time span. 12 points a game, 12 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a block, 66% from the foul line, 49% from the field. And the last couple games, he's really had some big games here. Is January 30th versus Milwaukee, 7 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 33% from the field, which hurts. And then February 1st at Miami, played 40 minutes, 19 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. Zeller, he's not going to keep these stats up. In his career, he's never really had some huge games. He's more of like an 8-8 type of player. And right now, he's playing at his peak value. So if you could trade him high or package him with someone else for a great player, this is the type of thing to do here. You use these 2 or 3 good games that Zeller's had in a row, and you sell him off your team before he goes back to his normal stats, where he's not going to really have value to sell. So Cody Zeller, he's definitely a sell high candidate, because I don't believe he's going to keep these stats up. In the 5th and final center, I would look to sell high here in Week 7's Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. Gobert, he had some monster games over the last few weeks on the season. He's ranked number 53 with 13 points a game, 13 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 2.7 blocks, and 60% from the field. And in the last week now, he's going 16.8 points a game, 11.8 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, 57% from the field. And he also had a couple huge games in the last few days here. January 27, 29 and 20, so he was a point shy of the 30-20 game. Then versus Dallas on the 29th, 17 points, 12 rebounds. But the last 2 games now, we've seen Gobert's stats drop off a bit. At Denver on January 31st, 12 points, 8 rebounds, a block, and he shot 57% from the field. And then last night versus Detroit, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. So Gobert, he's not going to be a high-scoring player. His rebounds, they're definitely going to be legit, but this season he's had a couple huge games where he had 19, couple 15s, a 20-rebound game, so I don't think those stats are going to stay up. And he's a player that's not going to give you everything across the board. He's going to hurt you in foul shooting. He's not going to score the basketball much. And he's not really a great passer for a big man. And he does have a decent amount of turnovers per game, is Gobert, at 2.5 in the last couple weeks. So he's definitely a sell high candidate. And now I go out there and try to sell him high, because I think you could get something good here for Gobert, who was still drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round of most fantasy leagues. So that's a few centers I would look to sell off and trade here in Week 7 of the fantasy basketball season.